what I would say first and foremost is the idea of intention. So if you can manage somehow to get up, particularly in the night, like even 15 minutes before Fajr comes in, 10 minutes before Fajr comes in, just make wudu and make 2 rak'ah, quick rak'ah, and ask Allah, oh Allah, I have intended this marriage. I've intended to enter into this marriage for your sake. If not before today, from now, I intend to enter into this marriage for your sake. I need your help. Making a really true intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then turning to the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a really intentional way, right? Like really, like I am going to overlook the mistake of the other person, right? Because musamaha is like a really important part of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As for the anger issue, it's really difficult. It's a huge challenge when you are driven by fear. Perhaps some of the anger comes from having seen examples in a past life, either in your own natal home from where you were from, where your parental home, where you grew up as a child, or from your past marriage, or somewhere you've seen this behavior, and it comes out. And I remember one of the very, very sort of striking moment that I'd had when sitting in the company of my own sheikh a number of years ago. He had been talking about domestic violence and domestic problems and like the kind of very painful things that people see in their homes. And he said, this kind of abuse that happens within homes, it's a generational thing. It's a passed down thing. It's an inherited thing. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes because the parents did it, and those parents did it, and their parents did it, and and the child keeps passing it down because that's the only behavior that they've ever seen. Like how to act nice to the people who are nice to you. Everybody knows how to do that, most everybody. But when it comes to the moments of stress, if you have learned somewhere that the way to respond to that is with cursing and fighting and arguing, then that's what's going to come out. It's very difficult, right? And he said this is an inherited thing. It is passed down generation to generation. And he looked at all of us and he said, get the reward of a founder by establishing a new practice in your line, in your hereditary line. If that's the case where maybe you don't have children, maybe you're not even going to have children, but by the very intention that I do this for the sake of establishing a new pattern for me and for the rest of whoever might ever issue forth from me, whether or not that issue actually comes, you will have innamal a'malu binniyat. You will have the intention, the reward of having founded a tremendous new godly pattern of Muslim believing life. And beyond that, like once you make that intention, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open the door. You take one step toward him, he takes 10 towards you. You walk to him, he runs to you. You'll find a way. I can't imagine that the help won't come. The help will come. Absolutely. But you got to sincerely sit alone with Allah and ask him for his help.